Hi, friends. Hi, neighbors. It's your neighbor, Emily Bartlett. I live on Plymouth Court. And in this new year, I wanted to take the opportunity to share the Fairfield Harbour newsletter with you in a different way. So I'm going to tell you right now that I don't regularly read the newsletter. I have two small heathens at home, heathens also known as children. I am a taxi, so there's a lot going on here. And I don't always have time to sit down and read the Friday newsletters. But earlier last year, we moved my dad here to Fairfield Harbour, and he loves it, but he feels very disconnected from the community because he's not hearing the updates. He doesn't understand kind of globally what's happening within our community because he doesn't have access to a computer. He doesn't want access to a computer. So I have been recording these newsletters for him to listen to so that he has a better understanding of what's happening around him. And then it's recently dawned on me that maybe others would rather listen to. I personally listen to a ton of audiobooks, podcasts, things like that. And I would rather listen to the newsletter than read it. So I am going to read it for you so you can listen to it and not have to look at it. Now, having said that, I'm going to make this available in a podcast form. It should be free in the next couple weeks, anywhere you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere like that. And those are free to download. You can listen to them whenever you want. I'm also making these available on YouTube because there are a lot of phone numbers and information, calendars, things like that in our newsletters, the security gate code. And I want to be able to share that with you. So on my screen, and I have a lot of screens up right now, so I can do this. This is my first test, so please give me feedback. I would love to know what you think. I have on my screen, I hope you're seeing my face, and then a screenshot of the contact information for the Fairfield Harbour office, as well as the security gates and the office's hours of operations. And then down below, what I've done, I hope you see other important phone numbers from this week's newsletters. So as I talk through different stories in this week's newsletter, their phone numbers. I'm going to narrate those for those that are not watching the YouTube, but I'm also going to have them on the YouTube. So grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. It's super helpful as you're reading through, just to be able to capture the information that you want. I tend to talk fast, especially when I'm nervous. And this is the first time I'm doing this in this format, like from a YouTube perspective. So I am nervous. Again, welcome your feedback. Would love other things that you would like to see in these recordings. And know that I'm not just going to stop here at the newsletters. I have lots of ideas this coming year for interviewing neighbors, talking with our security guards, getting more information on some of the projects that are coming up, things like that. I also want to do some videos and content related to things that are happening in and around New Bern that our community could take advantage of. So more to come, have lots of ideas. If you have ideas, please share them with me. I would love to do content related to it. But with that very long intro, I'm going to go ahead and start this week's January 13th edition of the Fairfield Harbour Property Owners Association newsletter. So for those that don't see the beacon, there is to your left usually a screenshot of just high-level important dates. There's also a quote each week. And so I will tell you that for January through March, there is a new gate code that has been published in the past two newsletters. So if you don't have the gate code, don't have those past two newsletters, please call the office. The Fairfield Harbour's office number is 252-633-5500. Again, grab a pencil and a piece of paper. The office number is 252-633-5500. And then if you ever need the security gate for any reason, you can call 252-636-5566. There's also a website, but likely if you're listening to this that doesn't pertain to you, although I am going to do a video navigating through the Fairfield Harbour website, as well as where you can find all the documentation related to DORs and things like that, because it's super helpful to know when you live here regularly. So more to come on that, but important dates for this month. So the next POA board meeting is going to be at 9 a.m. on January the 17th. There is going to be a virtual budget meeting at 7 p.m. on January the 25th. The next property control committee meeting is going to be January 26th. And most importantly, recycling day is January 31st. So make sure we get that recycling out on that day. Kate's quote this month is, "January is the month for dreaming." That's by Jean Hershey. And Darcey Everly sent in a beautiful picture of a sunset. I'm wondering if I can share. Let me just do this. Look at this sunset picture that Darcey sent in. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We live in such a beautiful community. Every day I'm in awe of the sunsets that we have here and the sunrises as we go across the bridge each day. So there is a note this week from the POA board president. His name is Phil Hewitt. And his note is as follows. "You are now the proud owner of a corner lot at the intersection of Route 55. So before you exit Broad Creek Road and turn towards New Bern, that land at the corner immediately to your left is now part of Fairfield Harbour. And not a single dollar of your dues was used to acquire this parcel. For years, if any POA owned lot was sold, the proceeds ended up in the general fund and those assets were lost forever. But since the last half of 2021 and into 2022, the new partners of the property committee have sold more real estate than in the last decade. As a result of this influx of talent and sales, the POA board decided that any land sale proceeds should go into a separate general ledger account for future capital investments. Underdeveloped land while sitting on the books is a liability. Once sold, the proceeds should be converted into an asset for the community and set aside for capital expenses rather than being used up as our regular operating expenses. This new account has been made. Purchase of the new property is possible. This is just one part of a multi-layered strategic plan to begin marketing our enterprise activities. I wonder what those are. Our restaurant and golf course currently are not self-sustaining, and we need to seek new customers in order to increase our profitability. In the restaurant, you have seen a remodel, recruitment of a new chef, and a rebrand through the name change. On the golf side, we hired a PGA pro golfer as the director of golf, repaired cart paths, and installed new sod on the fairways. These visible improvements set the stage for potential new clientele. The new property is an ideal location to attract attention from passersby. It can be used to advertise our community and facilities in order to capture a new audience and direct patrons to our location. We've already begun marketing by mail, and other forms of reaching the public are being developed and budgeted. This new land acquisition will allow us to launch a fresh image into the greater New Bern community and beyond, because we can strategically place advertising on our own property. It's great. So it would have been great if this acquisition had been completed 50 years ago when our community was first developed. However, the property was owned by someone else and was never offered for sale, even through numerous investors had inquired about purchasing it. When it recently became available through our negotiations, it offered a rare opportunity to acquire this land. With strategic, confidential planning, we were able to complete the transaction in December. Everyone knows the three principles for a successful land purchase are location, location, location. The new parcel does that by giving us both visibility and desirability. The fact that this is situated on a main highway and intersection at the end of Broad Creek secures our community's future by providing space to market Fairfield Harbour. Perhaps, and most importantly, this property has the potential to generate future revenue for our community. As New Bern expands, the corner will certainly be further developed. Since the south side is already established with a current thriving business, it's logical that the next parcel for consideration would be ours. With the amount of traffic that passes by this intersection, a variety of different businesses will undoubtedly desire such a location and gladly enter into a long-term lease agreement, providing an ongoing income stream. Because we own the land, we will be able to take control of what happens on this corner. So congratulations on our new acquisition, which offers exciting new opportunities to promote our community and to generate ongoing revenue. It's just one more step in our long-term strategic plan. If you have any questions, please contact John Rothengast. He's the Director of Strategic Planning, and he will be happy to assist. He can be reached via email at, for those listening, jrothengastbod, JROTHENGASTBOD @gmail.com. Signed, Phil Hewitt, Fairfield Harbour Property Owner Association President. That's a lot. That's good news. I would encourage Phil and others that are sitting on the board to share more at our next POA meeting about these long-term strategic plans. I myself have only lived in Fairfield Harbour. Our family moved here in March of 2021. And so it's just been about almost 2 years coming up. And I don't have a good understanding of kind of what our long-term strategic plans are. I know there's also been a lot of discussion depending on which Facebook page you follow, which that's a discussion for a whole nother day. But about just the secrecy, and I know this talked about confidential planning, but I think it's important for neighbors to feel a part of those discussions and decisions, of course, in an appropriate way that makes sure that we maintain the integrity of any negotiations. But yeah, just food for thought. But I'm very excited that we own that corner and that it's not going to cost us more money. So save the date. The annual budget meeting is coming up on January the 25th, 2023 at 7 p.m. It's a Zoom webinar. So for those that are listening to this, and for folks like my dad who don't have a computer and do not listen, I am going to talk to the POA office about whether or not I can use this functionality that I have to stream that webinar for future playback. And then I and others can take it around to listen to folks. We could also do an audio recording only and allow folks to listen in on that as well. So I'll continue to talk to Jennifer about that. But January 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern, the topic is going to be the Fairfield Harbour Property Owners Association virtual meeting. It does give you the link to register for the meeting. I am not going to read that out on this recording, but for those watching on YouTube, this is on page 3 of 10 of our newsletter, and the recording is right here in orange. So if you open up your email from Friday, January the 13th, you should be able to click on this hyperlink and it will launch that for you. Oh my gosh, I'm going to keep my screen here because this I am super excited about. Let's go to 100% on this. Make this bigger for a second. Barge update. For those following the progress of the removal of the sunken barge on Northwest Creek, the crane and barge have been removed from the water. Can we please give a round of applause to everybody involved in that feat? That's amazing. It was a great effort by the POA, the Wildlife Commission, and many other concerned residents and boaters. The project is nearing completion thanks to the efforts of the vessel Dead Cow, which in last week's newsletter, you saw that that was the one that the Wildlife Commission had secured in order to remove that sunken barge out of Northwest Creek. Thank you to all who have sent in such great pictures of this project. I loved seeing these pictures. It gave me, I haven't been down Northwest Creek lately. I love our boat, but when it gets below 60 degrees, I'm out. And so these pictures are amazing. So thank you to everybody who took pictures and allowed us to follow this event. It's certainly been captivating, I agree. From residents Olwyn and Bill Jarvis, the wrecked barge and other debris, including pilings, are still submerged and work will continue. A word of caution: we have already captured a floating 40-foot piling and secured it to our dock. The gentleman in charge indicated other pilings or debris could float loose. Navigate with caution the entire area. So again, if you see debris coming down Northwest Creek or up against your dock, if you are waterside, you can secure that to your dock. I'm sure there's not a phone number for who to call if there are questions. I guess call the POA office. And again, that number is going to be 252-633-5500. And I'm sure that they can give guidance on what to do to get that secured and out of the water. But great job, everyone. That's, I know, been a work in progress. People were talking about that when we moved here 2 years ago. So great job. All right, next topic, the Craven Area Rural Transit System. CARTS is what it's better known as, and it is the Craven County CARTS program. And on January 17th at 3 p.m. at the community center, there is going to be a seminar, if you will, related to this offering by Craven County. Transportation can be a problem for some in our community. And CARTS is an ongoing service provided to all communities in New Bern, and it's very underutilized here in Fairfield Harbour. So there's going to be an informational meeting at the community center on January 17th at 3 p.m. Kelly Walker, the CARTS director, and County Commissioner Tom Mark are going to speak to all the services that the county offers. So even if you're not interested in CARTS right now, you have your own transportation, you have a service that takes you wherever you need to go, friends and neighbors, they're going to speak to all of the county provided services. So definitely something that folks may want to attend and listen into. I'm sure it'll be very informative. There is a phone number. So for those listening and or watching the YouTube, I'll add this down here. Let me do that really quickly. So for CARTS, you can call 252-636-4917. And for hearing impaired, there is a NC relay number, and that is 1-800-735-2962 or dial 711. Okay. So again, if you need a ride on the CART system, please call 252-636-4917. Or if you have, hearing impairedness or need additional assistance getting through and making a reservation for that, you can call 1-800-735-2962 or dial 711. All right. That's very small over here. Let me see if I can make that bigger, even just a little bit. Okay. Great. All right. I saw this and laughed out loud because I am going to be purging my closet. My husband's going to be so happy about it. So in March, so we're pre-planning, okay? In March, the New Bern Women's Club is going to be collecting gently used handbags of all sizes. The larger, the better. Am I right? That is always the case. This is being sent out now so we can start planning for spring cleaning. Hang on to those handbags, please, until March. They will reach out again. The Women's Club of New Bern will reach out again to let us know about timing and location for collecting those handbags. But at the same time and separately, we will be collecting toiletry items that will be placed into the purses before they are delivered to women in need. So if you would hang on to those items too. So if you travel and you get little hotel shampoos, conditioners, soaps, disposable razors, any kind of toiletry items that women could use, I'm sure sanitary products are also something that is needed. Please save those as well to be delivered and collected with the purses that you probably need to get rid of as well. Just going to go ahead and leave this recording when I do and go straight to my closet. So 2023 Precious Purses Drive. Again, this is the New Bern Women's Club. It's going to be March 23rd. Drop-off locations, times are going to be determined. We'll get additional information as it gets closer. But if you have any questions about the purses or the toiletry items to be saved and collected, please contact Ann Lewis. Her number is 919-414-1157. Okay. Next, the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary Classroom Training. It's coming up. U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary Training will be providing classes in Fairfield Harbour during January and February. These classes are designed for both experienced as well as want-to-be sailors. So they're going to be local waters on January 28th is the community center. Youth as crew afloat is going to be February 4th at the activity center in room 2. And then Boat America is going to be on February 25th at the community center. For more information on these and other U.S. Coast Guard auxiliary training classes, there is a hyperlink that you can go to located in the newsletter. Again, I will see if there is a phone number and include that in the next recording if it's still applicable. 2023 Fairfield Harbour calendars. They're here. Not physically here, but they're coming. So our neighbors across the community have taken tons of photos, and they're beautiful. Like the cover picture here, the Fairfield Harbour scenes, beautiful. But it's a great way to show off our community, the landscape that we are surrounded by. It is magnificent to behold, especially in those daybreak and dusk hours. Calendars are $10. So if you had not pre-ordered one or you want one, please call the office. Again, the office's phone number, if you have not written it down yet, let's go ahead and do that. It's 252-633-5500. Okay, so please, those calendars are beautiful and make wonderful gifts. All right, we have another letter here from Chris Dunn, the golf course superintendent, and these is going to start our Harbour Pointe golf update. Okay, so from the course, as usual, we are having a typical Eastern North Carolina winter. One day it's below freezing, winds are howling, and a few days later it's sunny and 70. Welcome to the Carolinas. That's all I can say. I've been here my whole life. That's just what it is. It's not even Eastern. It's everywhere. I literally woke up this morning. It was in the 60s yesterday, and we were out walking the dogs, and the kids played basketball, and it was great. And then today I woke up and had to wear a sweater. So it's crazy weather. But the crew has been working on cutting down overgrown brush areas throughout the golf course, and they're going to do that for the next several weeks. This helps out not only aesthetically, to make sure our properties look good, our property values stay high, but also allows a bit more sunshine and air movement to those lower underlying grasses, and it benefits the turf. So new pavement has been completed on holes 7, 13, 14, and 15. Cleanup work is going to continue for several more weeks on these holes in the form of grading, raking, and seeding those affected areas. They're also going to work on sand traps next week, moving sand around, reclaiming some edges where sand has been moved outside the traps, and other herbicide applications were made to greens 4, 5, and 6 to fight the POA annua. I'm sure that's POA in a different sense, but I wonder what that is. Anyway, the results are looking very encouraging. So if you're an avid golfer and you're on the golf course a lot, please make sure to pay attention to holes 4, 5, 6, 7, 13, 14, and 15, and give the golf course feedback on whether or not you think what they've done is working. If you have other ideas, I'm sure that they would welcome those. We will continue to monitor this POA annua situation. Sorry, I don't know what that is, but make applications as necessary for ongoing for as long as possible during their dormant time. On a personal note, Chris Dunn, he was nominated and elected to be vice president for the Eastern Turfgrass Association. The association currently has over 120 members from all portions of the turfgrass industry here in Eastern North Carolina. That's great. Golf courses, sports fields, sod producers, landscape installers, landscape maintenance, professors, and vendors in our industry make up the association. There are 6 to 12 meetings annually for continuing education, pesticide licensing certifications. They have guest speakers and roundtable discussions. And he is honored. Congratulations, Chris, to be a part of that association as the vice president. And he looks forward to growing that membership and continuing to gain and share knowledge and ideas about the industry with his peers. And our neighborhood, Chris, we should talk and do one of these. As always, thank you for your support at the club, and we look forward to seeing you on the course. Congratulations again, Chris. That is amazing. I would love to learn more about this and share that with the neighbors that are going to watch this YouTube channel. All right, from the Pro Shop. Member tea times and handicap seminar. There is going to be a brief seminar on Tuesday, January the 17th at 4 p.m. at the restaurant to go over how to sign up for tournaments and tea times through the website. There will also be given an overview of the handicap system and explain why and how it works. So if you have questions, I'm sure you can email Chris or Brian Joyner if you'd like to attend. So they give Brian Joyner's email address. The phone number for the Pro Shop is 252-638-5338. So if you have questions or want to register for that seminar and do not have access to internet or a computer to be able to email Brian, please call the Pro Shop at 252-638-5338. Okay, there's a Frostbite Open. I hope it's going to be cold enough for you guys on Saturday, January 21st at 10 a.m. Sign up on the website today for the Frostbite Open. There are currently 24 players signed up. This is a 4-person handicapped scramble format. You can sign up as a single, a twosome, threesome, foursome, and the Pro Shop will pair teams that are less than 4. The entry fee is $25 for members, $50 for the public. General costs include the range, golf, prizes, and a soup and potato bar afterwards. That sounds yummy. The last day to sign up is going to be this coming Wednesday, January the 18th at 5 p.m. All right. 9 and Wine. I don't even play golf. I might sign up for the 9 and Wine. This is sponsored by the events committee. The outing is going to include a clinic, 9 holes, a golf cart, beverage ticket, and snacks. Register by January the 18th so that they can make plans for you to attend. This is going to be Wednesday, January 25th at 1:30 p.m. Wine at 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon, and maybe learn something about golf. Sounds like an amazing time. Golf cart sale. So we're nearing the end of our golf cart lease. Club Car has allowed us to sell any of the golf carts for the price of $4,500. So that's $4,500. The carts will not be available for pickup until new carts arrive. That's not going to happen until May of 2023. But if you're interested in looking at the carts, please contact Brian Joyner. Again, the number at the Pro Shop is 252-638-5338. All right. We talked about this in the opening letter. We have a restaurant in Fairfield Harbour. Very exciting. I've heard the food is great. Our neighbors next door go all the time for lunch and dinner, say it's a wonderful little place. We have not tried it, but I look forward to doing that very soon. It's called the Pointe Restaurant. Good food, good drinks, good time, period. I mean, that is succinct and to the point. I like it. So for those listening and not watching, the breakfast is Saturday and Sunday mornings from 7:30 to 10:30 a.m. Lunch is Wednesday to Sunday, 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. And dinner is Wednesday to Saturday, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. So on Sundays, they're only doing breakfast and lunch, no dinner, and then lunch and dinner Wednesday to Saturday. Breakfast is only on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. There is live music on Thursdays. So January 19th is going to be Sam Lewis. January 26th is the Bears. Upcoming January events is that January 5th, Ladies 9 and Wine at 1:30. Okay. Make reservations. You can make reservations online at the harborpointegolfclub.com. Or again, I gave you the number earlier to call and reserve your space for that. Lunch specials for this week are going to be chicken Parmesan sandwich, fried chicken breast topped with marinara and shredded cheese, served on a hoagie roll with a side of fries. And then the weekly dinner special is going to be Mediterranean barramundi in papillote. I wonder how. I'm sure I just butchered that word. Seasoned barramundi, potatoes, red onions, Kalamata olives, and green onions baked and served in a paper pouch with white rice and mixed greens. And of course, they have fish fries on Fridays. So they're serving haddocks and fries for those. There's also a broiled option available should you not like fried food. So for information about the restaurant or to call and make reservations, please call 252-638-5338. And when prompted about an extension, it's extension 4. So again, information or reservations about the Pointe restaurant in Fairfield Harbour, call 252-638-5338, extension 4. All right, let's talk food trucks, because when the restaurant is closed, the food trucks are on site for the most part. So let's make sure to patronize our food trucks when they're here. I just love Frank's Springs. So they're always usually near the Truist ATM at the community entrance on the opposite side of where the security gate is with the bars. And they're looking for a 4th food truck. So hopefully there will be a 4th added. Okay. So current schedule for January, the 16th, Tanya's Hella Fat Food is going to be here from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. for lunch and 5 to 7 for dinner. On January the 17th, Frank's is going to be here from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Your last order must be in by 4:45 p.m. And I want to tell you about Frank. You can text him or call him at 910-546-5332 and order ahead. So if you're like working from home or you're working and you're like, gosh, I'm going to get Frank's whenever I roll by, call or text what you want and he'll have it ready whenever you get there. But call by 4:45, text by 4:45 in order to get your order in so it's ready that day. And you can do that at lunch too. I have texted him a couple times about my lunch order because I was running short on time and he had it ready when I got there. It's great. He also does, and I don't see it in this newsletter, but every other Friday, I think he told me yesterday, he delivers food. So I texted him yesterday after seeing a notice on the Fairfield Harbour Facebook community, and I texted him and he delivered food to my dad and my husband and I yesterday for lunch, and it was amazing. So just a note about Frank's. January 23rd, the Maracay Mediterranean food truck is here from 5 to 7 p.m. for dinner. And on January the 30th, Tanya's Hella Fat Food is back from 11:30 to 1:30 for lunch and 5 to 7 for dinner. Okay. POA Office Updates. New residents, please don't forget to go into the office and register. There is a packet of information. They have new resident packet for you. And there's also every Friday at 10 a.m., there's about a 90-minute class for new resident orientation. They talk about everything that's on the grounds, the restaurant, the amenities, everything that we have here, how to get involved, the community calendar, things like that. So please make a plan to stop by if you have not already and register and do that new member orientation. While you're there, you can get a decal for your vehicle. So you must have a permanent plate if you want a decal for your car. What they're going to capture to give you a decal is your car's make, model, year, color, and license plate number. So you're going to put that onto a form so that they can file that away, and then you will get your decal put on your car right then. It's super fast and easy. And then if you have changed your license plate, if you have changed your address or a phone number has changed for you, please let the office know so they can update their records. The payment portal. There is an online payment portal to pay any kind of fees or dues associated with living in Fairfield Harbour. It is the Appfolio payment portal. You can go, there's a link in the newsletter from January 13th to register and pay your dues. That's the fastest way, and it's secure to pay your dues. That's how we do it. There's also a drop box in the front of the office where you can drop your payment in. So our communities, Fairfield Harbor's communities, fiscal year runs March 1st through February 28th. So the next billing for dues is going to be March 1st. And there will be a due date of May 1st for all annual dues payments. And you can also prepay your dues. I'm not sure many folks know about this, but it says many community owners have been doing this for years. I just learned about it when I was reading these newsletters for my dad. You can set up a monthly payment option and pay on the monthly, and it will prepay your dues through next year. So then whenever the dues come out for next year in March, you will have already been paid because you've been prepaying monthly over the course of the prior year. So that's awesome. So take advantage of that if you can. Services. Our POA office offers services like faxing, scanning, and copying, and notary services. So the notary, please call and make sure that the notary is there and is not in any kind of pre-scheduled meetings prior to your arrival. Don't just show up. They do need to make sure that they're going to be available. And also for faxing, scanning, copying, you may want to call and just make sure that no one else has any kind of big bundles of material being printed, copied, or faxed that day. But yeah, call the office if you need any of those services. That's great to have on site. And there is spring. Spring is coming. I hear it often. Spring is coming, and tennis and pickleball at Fairfield Harbour is now open for enrollment. So they give you links to the tennis registration and to the pickleball registration. I will not read through those on this cast, but I'm sure that I can get a phone number for somebody. I don't see a phone number. I see the links, and then I see an email address, info@tennisblock, tennisbloc.com. And they will be happy to help. But I'm just going to read through the schedules. If you have questions or need more information, like I said, I'll try to get a phone number before I do next week's cast. Spring programs schedule, March 4th through May the 6th. They're going to skip April 8th, but the cost covers the entire season. It's $85, and there are multi-participant discounts available. So that's great. For what's that, 7 or 8 weeks for $85? That's great. And then tennis class times for 8 and under. Okay. I'm glad I see this week because we will be signing up for this. Tennis class times, 8 and under, beginner and intermediate, is going to be Saturdays from 10 to 11 a.m. 10 and under, beginner and intermediate, Saturdays 11 to noon. 14 and under and 18 and under, beginner and intermediates, are going to be Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And adults, beginner and intermediate is going to be Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. Okay. Those are tennis class times, and pickleball class times are going to be March 8th through May 3rd. Adult beginners is Wednesdays from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. and adult intermediates is going to be 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Good. And that season, again, the spring season is going to be March 4th through May 6th. All right. This is the last part of this week's newsletter, the calendar of events. So there is a larger calendar of events. So if you click through on the beacon, I'm just going to show you. So there is another larger newsletter that comes out regularly. They have features and things like that. There is a Fairfield Harbour list of community happenings. And that list, you can scroll through. There are these things that happen on a regular basis. And then they have monthly calendar of events, monthly and special events down here. So this calendar is great to reference in the beacon should you have any questions. But January the 14th, there's going to be a Precinct 20 Democratic meeting at 9:30 a.m. at the community center. Again, January 16th, Tanya's Hella Fat Food will be here from 11:30 to 1:30 for lunch and 5 to 7 for dinner. On January the 17th, Franks will be here from 11 to 5 p.m. The last order must be called or texted or given in line by 4:45. On the 17th, there's also a town hall meeting with the county commissioner, Tom Mark, at 3 p.m. at the community center. January 21st, Precinct 20 GOP meeting at 9 a.m. at the community center. January the 23rd, the Maritime Mediterranean food truck will be here from 5 to 7 p.m. in the ATM parking lot. January 25th will be the virtual POA budget presentation. January 26th will be the Property Control Committee meeting for submitted applications. Okay, so in order to have an application reviewed at that week's meeting on the 26th, it needs to be received by 12 noon on Tuesday of the week of the meeting in order to be considered for the meeting agenda. So you can't turn it in same day. So by noon on Tuesday prior to the meeting, everything needs to be turned in order to be considered for that week's meeting agenda. And then on January the 30th, Tanya's Hella Fat Food from 11:30 to 1:30 for lunch and 5 to 7 for dinner. And then we end the month recycling. Okay, so we will be recycling on January the 31st. All right. And that is the end of this week's presentation of the community newsletter. I hope you found that informative. And I hope that you give me ideas for things to also cover. So ideas I have been given is like weather for the week ahead, interviewing folks within our community, things like that. This is right now about 42 minutes recording. I don't expect them to be that long, but I also, as I read these, I'm like, that's a good idea. And I like to share that with you. So I want this to be personable. I want you to get out and meet some neighbors. And then hopefully in the next few days, this cold front will be past us and we can get back out and start enjoying everything that Fairfield Harbor has to offer. With that, I hope you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week next week. And I will be doing my next recording at least by next Friday. So have a great rest of your weekend. Talk soon. Bye.